Right now, more than a half dozen Wisconsin teenagers are hospitalized with lung damage believed to be caused by vaping. And the city of Madison now confirming the firefighting foam used last week during the substation fires did, in fact, contain the chemical PFAS. And later, football season just around the corner now. We'll head to Green Bay for the first day of Packers training camp. Coming up.
From the Channel3000.com Alert Center, this is News 3 Now at 10.
And thanks for joining us tonight. State officials and the Children's Hospital of Wisconsin are investigating after 8 teenagers are hospitalized with severely damaged lungs in Milwaukee. Right now, the hospital believes these cases are linked to vaping. Gabriella Becerra joins us with what doctors and local vape shops are saying about the trend and its long-term dangers. Gabby?
A local doctor says lung disease causes coughing, shortness of breath, and chest pain, symptoms that teenagers and young adults shouldn't be experiencing. He says the danger is the long-term effects, which are not yet fully understood. Dr. Malcolm DeCamp says what started as a socially acceptable alternative to e-cigarettes has almost become an epidemic amongst teens.
Children and young adults being seen in the emergency room, being seen in hospitals, seen by their pediatricians or primary care physicians with lung disease at an age where they should be enjoying perfect health. DeCamp says there are a lot of misconceptions about what is in these vape pens. You're vaporizing chemicals, which include nicotine, which provides the addictive part of it, but there are heavy metals, there are flavors, there are other particulates that get deposited into the lung. They're not regulated, so we have no control over our understanding of exactly what is in these things. And the long-term consequences are still unknown. It's a super challenge for us to understand what it would do to the lung, especially the developing lung. Under Wisconsin law, you have to be 18 years or older to purchase e-cigarettes.
We have ID scanners that we scan at every ID.
But general manager at Knuckleheads, Landon Meskey, says that doesn't stop younger teens from having friends or older siblings buy for them.
The shops like us and shops that are doing everything they can will not sell to minors, but it doesn't stop an older brother from coming in. Since 2017, the FDA reports there was a 78% increase in vaping among high school students. I'm all for more research, it wasn't until how long was regular cigarettes in the market and everyone doing it before long-term research finally caught up to a product.
Meskey says there are other alternatives to nicotine, and when new customers come in looking to make a switch from cigarettes, he suggests CBD products because they have the same anxiety and stress-reducing aids without the nicotine.
And today in Washington, lawmakers grilled the co-founder of Juul in a hearing to find out what role the nation's largest maker of vaping products may have played in a surge in teen vaping. James Monsees testified his company's only goal is to help the world's 1 billion smokers stop using traditional tobacco and called the uptick in teen vaping a serious problem.
We never wanted any non-nicotine user, and certainly nobody underage, to ever use Juul products. Yet the data clearly shows a significant number of underage Americans are doing so. This is a serious problem. Our company has no higher priority than fighting it.
Monsees says his company is taking steps to keep its product away from young people by removing flavors from store shelves. He also told lawmakers Juul supports legislation prohibiting e-cigarette sales to anyone under 21. New information tonight shows the firefighting foam used to put out fires at utility substations in Madison last Friday did, in fact, contain chemicals commonly referred to as PFAS. 2 days ago, Madison fire officials said, according to the foam's manufacturer, the product used was not linked to those chemicals. But after testing soil, water, and groundwater in that area, the city has confirmed they found evidence of PFAS. A part of Main Street is currently closed while the cleanup process continues. 5 days later now, the power has been restored to almost everyone in northern Wisconsin who lost it during Saturday's storms. According to the outages map from Wisconsin Public Service, only a few hundred people are still without. Power crews from multiple states have been working around the clock to get it restored, but some smaller areas may still have to wait another day. Time now to get a look at our first alert forecast. Here's meteorologist Dana Fulton. Dana?
Right now, it's mostly quiet throughout southern Wisconsin, but we do have some showers just off to the west that may bring a few raindrops into Grant County in the next few hours. Really after midnight, this rain threat might shift a little further east. The thing is, it's dying down pretty quickly over in Iowa. No lightning associated with it, so again, just a slight chance for some isolated showers after midnight for that southwest corner of Wisconsin. Right now, our temperatures close to 75 in Madison, about 69 in the Dells, and 70 in Viroqua, 70 also in Monroe and in Janesville. We're in for a mild night with our dew points hugging close to 60, if not in the mid 60s for some areas in the western edge. That's a little bit higher than where our dew points were at this time yesterday. And of course, we're going to continue to see a little bit of an increase in our humidity and our temperatures for your Friday and the weekend. We'll take a closer look at what's ahead for the next few days in just a few minutes. Eric?
Dana, thank you. Crews in Missouri are still looking for two brothers from Wisconsin who were reported missing there earlier this week. All day today, investigators from several law enforcement agencies have swarmed Clinton County, Missouri, a property there in this search. It's about 30 miles northeast of Kansas City. No one has seen or heard from 35-year-old Nick Diemel and his brother, 24-year-old Justin Diemel. They're from Shawano County. No one has heard from them since Sunday. Their rental car was found abandoned in a park and ride. Family members say the brothers were in town for business. A 5-year-old girl was shot in the leg during an apparent road rage incident this morning in Milwaukee. The second incident there in a matter of weeks. Police say the child's injury is non-life threatening. Happened on North 44th Street in the city's northwest side just before 11 this morning. There is no suspect in custody. However, police say they have a description of the vehicle involved. Today's shooting happened just blocks from where another road rage shooting left a 3-year-old girl, Brooklyn Harris, dead. On July 13th, police say 39-year-old Antonio Bratcher shot into the car after a road rage incident and killed her. Today in court, Bratcher pleaded not guilty to those charges. 16 Marines at California's Camp Pendleton have been arrested after a human smuggling investigation. That's according to the Marine Corps. They were arrested on allegations ranging from human smuggling to drug-related offenses. The arrests were carried out this morning by division officials and the Naval Criminal Investigative Service during battalion formation. 8 additional Marines were reportedly questioned about unrelated drug offenses. SpaceX suffered a setback today when its prototype spacecraft became engulfed in flames. The vehicle, nicknamed Starhopper, was supposed to lift about 65 feet off the ground. Instead, the mission was aborted moments after the rocket's massive engine fired up at a Texas development site. However, the craft appears not to have been damaged. Spacehopper is an early precursor to a rocket called Starship, which is planned to carry people deep into the solar system. A secure treatment center in Madison will triple the number of juvenile offenders housed there in 2021. It's part of a major expansion project. In 2 years, a new building will be opened at the Mendota Juvenile Treatment Center, which is part of the Mendota Mental Health Institute on Madison's north side. It currently houses 43 teenage boys. The state budget signed by the governor this month approved $59 million to add on to the treatment center. Mendota will start treating teenage girls for the first time in 2021 and almost double the number of teenage boys housed there. The Big Boy locomotive is in southeastern Wisconsin tonight. Earlier today, the train departed Altoona, Wisconsin, up near Eau Claire. It arrived in Wauwatosa this evening. It'll stay there overnight. From there, it will leave for Chicago in the morning. People can follow the steam locomotives movement with the Railroad Interactive Map or follow Union Pacific on Twitter for updates on the train's location. A train heading from Wisconsin to Fort Worth, Texas, derailed today. 70 cars overturned, emptying sand along the tracks. This is in Mercer County, Missouri. The Union Pacific train derailed about 7:30 this morning. Mercer County, about 125 miles northeast of Kansas City. There was no hazmat involved. No one was hurt. The cause is under investigation. Starting tomorrow and going through August 4th, some 100,000 people are expected to attend the annual Sunflower Days at Pope Farm Conservancy in Middleton. More than 500,000 sunflowers will be in full bloom in the 9-acre field. Due to the large crowds and safety concerns, the event was canceled last year. Now the town of Middleton has taken over and hired an outside company to help run things smoothly. We have ticket and shuttle information at channel3000.com. And still ahead tonight at 10, it's been a year since last summer's devastating flooding, and people who live along Madison's lakes are still on edge about what's next. Why city engineers say the solution is not an easy one. A local man's call for action is next. It has been almost a year since historic flooding took over people's yards, basements, and lives and caused more than $200 million in damage across Wisconsin. This summer, those memories have neighbors who live at the edge of Madison's lakes on edge as they watch the water creep closer to their property lines. They're asking what local leaders are doing to protect them. Leah Linscheid has their call for action.
I've always just been a fan of being out on the lake.
It's not exactly an unpopular opinion when you live here.
We like to enjoy the water. We have 2 kayaks. You know, we get out as much as we can. We like to swim off the pier.
In case you needed another reason, there are a couple behind why Topher Christensen chose to return to his home city of Madison and buy along Monona Bay. But in the 5 years he's been back, something seems to be creeping up on him constantly.
My pier has become a swim-up bar for the ducks.
The water level's gone up so much, Topher decided to sell his motorboat. He can't get it out of the bay anymore.
If you want to get out to the larger part of the lake, you can't really go under the main bridge anymore because the water's so high.
Even his kayaks can't escape under the railroad bridges. In last year's historic flooding, his yard was one of many sustaining some damage.
You can see where my good grass stops and my bad grass starts. That's where the water came to.
The question Topher has is also something we've heard before.
What is the county doing, you know, for people like me in the short term to alleviate any issues that might come? The county has an obligation to taxpayers to help them take care of their property, and this seems like an issue that they could solve pretty easily just by lowering the lake level at the beginning of the season.
We can do it on paper at this point if everyone could agree on what they should be on paper, but in reality, it's kind of a different situation.
This isn't the first time we've reported on rising lake levels and what's being done about them. Here's a quick recap, according to city engineers. Back in 1979, the DNR set the lake levels, and they're still in place today, despite lots of changes to the landscape, more rain events, and 2 attempts since 2000 to change those levels.
The written lake levels right now, or as they stand, we're unable to fulfill those.
Consider this. The range of acceptable lake levels set by the DNR is no bigger than the size of my cell phone, about 6 inches. And Dane County can't operate within that range right now. So lowering lake levels isn't really an option.
Currently, the county is doing the best that they can to maintain the lake levels within that range, but we have too much water entering the system.
Aside from too much rain and not enough room, changing lake levels would disrupt a host of other issues, from pier levels for residents and businesses to ecosystems at the nearby Cherokee Marsh. Instead, the county's working along the Yahara chain of lakes to get the water to move quicker. It's also reviewing recommendations from a task force on studies, dam management, and more. We asked city engineers what residents can be doing to protect themselves. First, and most obvious, prepare ahead of time. For example, purchase plastic sheeting before a major rain event.
During last year's flooding, all of the stores in the nearby vicinity ran out of the sheeting because so many people needed it to wrap up the sandbags to make sure that they are more impermeable.
Second, take advantage of the resources out there. The city provides weekly flooding assessments, sandbag information, flood preparation tips, and a host of other helpful maps. Third, consider flood insurance.
Most folks don't know that flood insurance from FEMA is actually available for people at a very low cost when you're outside of the floodplain.
Since folks aren't allowed to develop within a floodplain, this covers most people in Madison. Back in Topher's backyard,
I had a neighbor 2 doors down who just kind of paid a lot of money to raise his shoreline 2 feet.
He's not the only one with opinions on what to do next.
He's just not waiting for, you know, government to take action. He took action himself. This is not an issue that we can wait, 4 to 5 years to figure out.
With this call for action, I'm Leah Linscheid for News 3 Now.
We have a host of information, city and county links, and more tips on how to protect your home from future flooding at our website, channel3000.com. And if you have a consumer question or complaint, our call for action volunteers can help with that. They are here every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. And you can reach them at the number there on your screen, 608-270-2833. Lots of sunshine this week, and humidity and heat levels kicking up another notch.
Just creeping up a little bit. Thankfully, they aren't going into a hyperdrive overload, shifting too far ahead. We're going to just keep them a steady increase heading into the weekend. And then thankfully, with the rain coming in on Sunday, we drop back down for the start of next week. Now, right now, just one last look at the Doppler tracker. It's overall pretty calm for us in the southern edge of the state, but we do have these light showers just to the west. And again, wouldn't be surprised if maybe 1 or 2 crosses over the state line, and it makes a trip into Wisconsin and brings some raindrops along with it. But no thunderstorm, no lightning expected with those storms. Today we did hit a high of 84. It was a little higher than average. We started the day off in the mid-60s, also just a little bit above average. Really not too bad outside. Our dew points were in the mid-60s this afternoon, so it felt just a little humid, but it was more just like a summery July feel as opposed to being oppressively hot outside. This is all thanks to some high pressure that has shifted east. Now that we're on the backside of that ridge, we're seeing our breeze, of course, coming from the south. That southerly flow is going to continue into tomorrow and the weekend, and that's why our temperatures are just going to continue to increase. Do have some showers off to the north and to the west as that front pushes closer. We're looking at our rain chances increasing Sunday night and into Monday, but until we get there, we got to watch the warm up and that increase in our humidity over the next few days. Right now it's 75 in Madison and in La Crosse. That's 69 in Dubuque. So everyone's sitting in the mid to low 70s in southern Wisconsin. Dew point wise, we're close to 60s. So it does still feel just a little muggy overnight. We'll be pretty mild overnight, only falling to the low 60s for overnight lows. Tomorrow, plan on a partly sunny sky. Overall should be a pretty okay summer day. Mid 80s, mid to upper 80s for our afternoon highs. A little humid. But again, not too bad. By Saturday morning, we watch our temperatures fall into the mid to upper 60s. It'll be a little warmer to start off the day. Likely have the AC running overnight. In the afternoon, temperatures will be back in the upper 80s. And we may see a few shower chances creep south of us into northern Illinois. But our rain chances really start to arrive on Sunday. We'll start the day off with sunshine. In the afternoon, more cloud coverage builds on in. And then that system that's really going to cool us down rapidly approaches the center of it right there. That low pressure crossing right over Wisconsin. So we'll see some storms to the north, but we will see some showers and thunderstorms late Sunday night and into Monday. Heat index readings tomorrow afternoon will be in the mid to upper 80s, and then by Saturday we are expecting those heat index readings to creep into the mid to low 90s at times. It's going to feel a little humid outside for Saturday and Sunday. Overnight low temperatures dropping into the low 60s. Our breeze still coming from the south overnight, but as far as those wind speeds, they should stay fairly calm. It's not going to get too windy outside. In fact, about 5 to 10 miles per hour. A comfortable start to the day. 63 is what we're going with for an overnight low in Madison. Again, partly cloudy sky overnight, partly sunny for tomorrow. Warm, just a little humid. 87 the high in Madison. So along the state line, it will be closer to 90 for Platteville, Monroe, and Beloit. Those temperatures will be just a little warmer, and of course in the Dells and Camp Douglas, just a little cooler. But overall, still staying warm for the next several days. Upper 80s all the way through the weekend. Those shower chances cool us down heading into next week. We'll have the chance for showers and thunderstorms on Monday. Right now it does look more of a morning, but we'll be watching the time of that system, of course, to see if they linger into the afternoon. We have a nice little dry stretch there for the middle of the week as temps sit a little closer to average in the low 80s. And then another system brings rain chances into the following weekend, which will be the first weekend of August.
It's going fast. Summer's going fast.
It is.
Here's another reminder coming up next that fall's not too far away. A new head coach, a lot of changes as the Packers open training camp. We'll have the story from Green Bay next in sports.
Packers training camp is underway today in Green Bay. The first on-the-field practice and the first run of kids, players, and bikes from Lambeau Field to the practice field across the street. Kicker Mason Crosby might have had the coolest ride today, and so it begins. The first training camp practice under new head coach Matt LaFleur. Melissa Kim has more on day one from Green Bay.
Well, it's definitely a little bit of a different feel here on the first day of Packers training camp this year. No Randall Cobb, no Clay Matthews, and as of yesterday, no Mike Daniels. Some noticeable differences both on and off the field.
I saw Mike on the way in and talked with him briefly. Had no idea. And then next thing you know, I got a text from somebody that Mike was getting taken upstairs. And kind of, when you say that, like so-and-so just went upstairs, you know what's happening.
Me, Dean, and Kenny were talking about it the other day where it's basically us three from our rookie year that were playing on defense at that time. And it's crazy to think about, and kind of moving forward, we just know that things are refreshing. Just like everyone knows, this is a business.
Chalk it up to the tempo out here on day one. Matt LaFleur picking up the pace and telling the Packers, we got to move faster.
It's about us setting standards and just how we operate as a football team. One of the things that I hit on at the end was just urgency from drill to drill. I felt like there was a little lag out there a little bit.
With offense like this, it's pretty complex, so it's going to take a little bit of time. I think getting some practice runs, some live stuff in preseason is going to help as well. So it's going to be a process, but I think we're moving at a pretty good speed right now.
And speaking of moving a little bit faster and picking up the pace, Coach LaFleur definitely practices what he preaches, because he was out there on the field today helping the wide receiver corps with drills, even though he still has a walking boot on his left foot. At Lambeau Field, Melissa Kim, News 3 Now Sports.
Here's how Bears running back Tariq Cohen arrived for training camp in Bourbonnais, Illinois. That's a three-wheel motorcycle, a Polaris slingshot that'll cost you over $40,000. So how does it handle?
The acceleration on the car, I feel like that's one of the biggest things about it. That's why I love it. The many gears that it has at 5 gears, so it's comfortable, it's fun to drive. So I feel like I'm a fun player. So we match.
How does that thing handle?
Oh, very good, very good. You can switch lanes effortlessly.
Madison Men's City Golf Championship began today at Cherokee. Carl Hotman, the only guy to shoot par, is round of 72, gives him the lead after the first round. One shot over Tony Vant, Eric Goldapsky, Patrick Murphy, and Alex Primo. The second round tomorrow at Hawks Landing. The Brewers have the day off. They'll begin a big series with the Cubs at Miller Park tomorrow night. The Brewers are bringing Travis Shaw back up from the minors to take the roster spot of Yuli Shashin, who is on the injured list. And the St. Louis Cardinals are now tied for the lead in the Central Division. The Cardinals beat Pittsburgh 6-3 for their 5th straight win. So it's St. Louis and the Cubs tied for first in the NL Central. The Brewers are 2 games back, and we'll be right back.
What do you like on your hot dog? #BucksBooth. Maybe send us a picture.
Meteorologist Dana Fulton joining us once again. Final check of the forecast.
We're looking at a mild night tonight. Again, a slight chance for an isolated shower west of Dane County as the rain is dying down as it does move east. We have some sunshine for tomorrow, partly sunny skies for Friday and Saturday, but it is going to be humid outside both days. Temperatures will be in the upper 80s. Heat indexes will creep into the low 90s. It'll feel like we're in the mid to low 90s on Sunday in front of that next system. That's going to bring a little cooler air on in and the chance for some showers and thunderstorms. Those will start to develop late in the day and at night on Sunday. Stay with us into Monday morning, maybe linger into the early afternoon. And then we dry on up and cool down. We're in the mid 80s on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. Temperatures stay a little closer to average. We're in the low 80s, close to 80 degrees with some sunshine as we head into the first weekend of July, or first weekend of August. Another chance for showers comes in for the following weekend.
All right, Dana, thank you very much. Thanks for joining us on News 3 Now at 10. Have a great night.
Now, a